I don't even know where to start with this one, guys. This was not a video I was planning on having to make today, but basically I woke up this morning with a notification that Graham Stephan had, released a video, and first off, I thought it was really weird because Graham never releases a video in the morning. That's very, very strange. And then I started receiving a lot of text messages about, Graham destroyed you. Graham's like giving out a lot of personal details. Graham's, like saying a lot of bad things. So immediately I watched this video, and we're going to react to it here. And I only got to watch the first 10 or 11 minutes of it or so. And basically, he just makes up a lot of lies about me and a lot of lies about what's going on. And, I have a lot of dirt on Graham Stephan, and I just want to kind of release that in this video. And I can't believe he would take something like this public. So, if he wants to fight public by public, we can fight public. I've already had my lawyers actually draft up a lawsuit. We're going to go through the lawsuit in this video. And, this isn't the type of video I want to make, but it's just we've got to go there, and I'm going to set the record straight. I will always defend myself publicly. Now, something Graham always talks about, it's hard for me to even have a normal conversation with him. He can never, ever hit a 10%, basically. He can never get like 10% of the viewers to like smash a thumbs up for his video. So I would love it if you guys could smash the thumbs up for this video and we could hit that 10% number. Because if we do, I will basically have my lawyer in the back of the documents, a lawsuit he's about to send over, basically send like a page where it just shows like we reached 10%. He's never been able to do it ever. He'll be at 10% or above, and then he'll go under 10%, and it drives him crazy. And my gosh, if we could do that, you guys would be amazing for that. That would just be rubbing it in his face. And yeah, we're gonna go through the lawsuit. I'm gonna tell you what I'm suing for and all those things. It's disgusting, honestly.
This is definitely not the video I was planning to make, and it's certainly not a video I want to make, but I think I owe you complete transparency to tell you what happened and why I'm back in California. First of all, you probably already noticed that since...
Not a video I want to make either. I'm usually sleeping at 10:47 a.m. or barely waking up, man, and I got to make this video because you just drag my name all over the place, and now I got to sue you for defamation?
To Las Vegas, the quality and originality of this channel has been slipping. It's not a surprise. My views have been declining. I've kind of run out of things to talk about, and I've resorted to talking nonstop about the stock market because creatively, what else is there to talk about? I've tried to make up for that by overcompensating.
Graham Stephan's heavy on margin. He doesn't let anybody know this. He wants to pretend like, oh, I'm just, I put some money in an index fund today. He's heavily in debt on margin debt. I don't want to mention the specific numbers because I don't want to get a defamation lawsuit back at me. But I mean, it's ugly, guys. It's really ugly.
My thumbnails, but that's got to stop. Unfortunately, this has been going on for a while now, and I really thought that changing locations and going and buying a Ford GT would help get me out of this rut, but it really just made things worse, as I'm sure you've probably already noticed. At the time, we were in the middle of a lockdown. Macy and I were stuck nonstop inside, and after 8 months of doing nothing and feeling drained, we really just needed to change. Now, I know I made a video a few months ago explaining why I left California and how that decision just made the most logical sense, but honestly, truth be told, a lot of that video was just what I thought people wanted to hear and not the real reason why I wanted to leave. It really all started from what we thought was just going to be a quick weekend trip to Las Vegas to get out of the city and go relax.
Okay, first off, with Graham Stephan, there's no such thing as this relaxing vacation coming to Vegas, man. Guy's an animal. That's all I'll say about that.
We figured while we're up there, we would meet up with a close friend, Jeremy. You've probably seen him from the Financial Education channel here on YouTube. I've known Jeremy for a few years now, and he has been constantly trying to get me to move to Las Vegas ever since our first interaction.
That's true. This was one of the few parts that was actually true that, in which he says here. I can't wait to watch this whole thing. Like I said, I only watched the first 10, 11 minutes when I watched it earlier, and I got on the phone with my lawyer right away. This was the one part that was true. I had been trying to get him to move to Vegas for quite a while and kind of, planting that seed and talking about these things and whatnot.
He's always told me how great it is there, how there's no traffic, how there's no state income tax, and how happy I would be if I go and move there. And he really just tried to push me to leave. And really, for years, I just kept saying no. I even made a video about why I'm not leaving California, just to prove to him that I was firm on that decision. But that one time that Macy and I went up about 8 months ago, I don't know, something was different. He showed us around a few areas and really made some compelling arguments about why we should completely uproot our lives to go and move there, and how we could hang out all the time, and how another...
I never said we could hang out all the time. I'm too busy. Like, I got way too much. I got videos to record. I got the private stock group. I got to look into stocks. I got conference calls. I got reports to read. I got a team to run. to hang out all the time, you got to... You know, this is where the lies really start getting going here.
YouTuber Andre Jick lives nearby, and we could all just like mastermind together and share ideas. And looking back, I really don't know if he just saw like a moment of weakness in me, or I don't know what happened, but in that moment, I believed him, and I just felt like, hey, you know what, this is the right choice. I should probably just go and do it. Almost immediately after that, he started showing us homes, almost like this was something he had planned on happening, but there was one home that we really did like, and
with Fundrise, the same kind of real estate investment.
There's so much here. I mean, you know, gosh. So he came out. He wanted to look at $3 million, $4 million, $5 million homes. And I thought, that's just way overboard. I said, that's not going to go over well with your audience. I mean, some of these homes were 10,000, 15,000 square feet. Ridiculous. I mean, we're talking pools. We're talking pools bigger than Olympic-sized swimming pools in the backyard. I mean, we're talking outdoor basketball courts and indoor. Like, it's just ridiculous. I'm like, your audience is not going to respect you living in a 10,000, 15,000 square foot house. So I tried to bring him down to earth and show him a little more like modest homes. I mean, he comes from LA. He's used to, you know, paying whatever price for a home, and you know, it was absolutely insane. I could not believe, you know, the type of properties he was trying to look at.
Though, was that there were a few other buyers who were also interested in it at the exact same time as us, and I was afraid of losing it. So kind of in a...
You can't disclose that publicly. If there's multiple buyers trying to purchase on a house, that's one of our parts of the lawsuit, because I was one of the people that was bidding on that house. You can't publicly divulge that information. So that's one of many components of this lawsuit I'm filing on against them. You can't publicly say that.
For the moment decision, I went and put down a 5% deposit to go and buy this house for 3 days.
It was not 5%, it was 2%. Once again, just a fib.
Later, that deposit became non-refundable. I gotta say, you should really listen to your intuition on these things, because deep down, I knew it was the wrong choice, and I knew I was overpaying for a house that was never worth that price. It was way bigger than what I ever needed. But I kept thinking that was the right choice, and I should just try it out, which is stupid. Unfortunately, though, by the time we got back to Los Angeles, I had changed my mind, and I felt like I just got caught up in the spur of the moment, and I had a lapse of judgment. But the problem was that...
This is the gentleman that, makes fun of other people for their lapse of judgment on his Graham Stephan show. And he has a lapse of judgment, hey,
time, my 5% deposit was non-refundable. I fully realize and own up to the fact that I didn't fully think things out, but I was also worried about losing my deposit.
What it came down to with that house, I'll be honest, is I was one of the bidders on the house as well. He just wanted to win. If you know Graham, he has to win everything. And, we got in that bidding situation, and he bid it up. That's not my fault. I was willing to pay a good price for that. I wanted to use that house as like a place to store 6-figure, 7-figure awards, have meetings there and stuff like that. It's right next to my house, the house I'm building. And so that was the way I was looking at it. So I was one of the people bidding on that house, and he just has to win everything. It's insane. I just think it's frustrating. But cool. He won it. You got to accept that.
So I figured I may as well just go along with it and give it a shot. Now, in hindsight, that was obviously a very rushed decision that I didn't fully think through, but that was where the beginning of the problem started. To help offset the cost of the house that I knew I overpaid for, I began making a few videos about it, just showing you around and what you could buy living in Las Vegas. But you guys know me, like, that's not me. I don't need that much space, and it just felt like a lie and a waste to live in something that big. But the more I talked about and filmed that house, the more it just felt like I was digging myself deeper into something that was going to be really hard to get out.
That's another thing I'm suing him for in this lawsuit. Like I said, there's a lot of components, but he would constantly show like the outside exterior of the home, which includes showing, you know, the house I'm building essentially. That goes into privacy laws and things like that. So basically, you know, that's another component in this lawsuit, which we're going to go through. There's so much here.
Now, by the time we moved there in December, I will admit the first few weeks were actually pretty nice. I really did feel like the new house and the new area was going to give me a new level of excitement. Plus, I was close to all my friends, and I was saving a lot of money in the process. Although really, just after a few weeks, things got so much worse, and I don't even know where to begin. In terms of the weather, people kept warning me about the scorching hot summers or extremely cool winters, and I heard that and I just chalked it up to jealousy, or maybe they couldn't handle it and they had to move back. It's weird for me to say this, but they were right. I don't know if you know this, but Las Vegas gets extremely cold at night to the point where a few weeks ago, it was literally snowing in the backyard. Listen, I moved to Las Vegas not to have snow like that. And snow like that, by the way, is an anomaly to the point where I just felt like this was a sign from above telling me, like, Graham, don't.
It snows from time to time in Vegas, and the main reason Graham got frustrated about this whole snow situation was he put, literally, that's how cheap he is, he put buckets outside. So the snow would hopefully fall in the buckets, it would melt, and then he would have fresh water. Well, it doesn't like snow like that. Like, it was like this much water. And so ever since then, he's like been all like, you know, in his feelings about the snow. It's like, dude, like, it doesn't snow enough to actually make for like fresh water. It's ridiculous.
Move to Las Vegas. This is not the right choice. You're making a mistake. Here is snow to literally prove to you that the universe does not want you to be here.
You know, this is Graham Stephan's ego. He thinks the universe cares about him that much that it's going to snow all over the entire city just for him. Come on, Graham. I wish I could sue him for having a big ego in this situation, too.
Right. The snow is really just the beginning of it, though. The weather up in Las Vegas is also extremely dry to the point where, like, multiple times throughout every single night, I wake up with a dry mouth. And that means I get a horrible night of sleep.
I told him several times, you take a glass of water to bed with you. Why do you think I'm drinking a glass of water right now? This isn't rocket science. Take a glass of water, you wake up, you feel your mouth dry, you slosh some water around. Like, it's not magic, right? You know, oh man, just frustrating.
Single night, and that then impacts the work I do the next day that you've probably already noticed. I've also gone out of my way to go and meet the neighbors and people who live close by, but for some reason, every single time I tell them that I've moved from California, I get this really weird, suspicious look, almost as though they're resentful of me living there. I mean, really, it's not my fault that there's a housing shortage. It's not my fault that everything there is so affordable. And yeah, compared to California, I'm willing to pay way more than what the house is worth, just because I think I'm getting a good deal compared to what I could buy here. But that is really not a reason to treat me like an outsider. On the other hand...
Yes, it is. He's bidding up a house just to win. You know what I mean? Yes, it is. It really is.
When I'm in Los Angeles and I tell people I'm from Los Angeles, it's almost looked as like this badge of honor that unfortunately is useless anywhere else I go. Then there's also the HOA. I don't know why, but it seems like almost every area in Las Vegas has an HOA. And the house that I bought, I didn't fully research it, and this is my fault, but it's in an HOA within another HOA. And I don't fully understand what I'm paying for. They don't see...
Oh, come on, Graham. You don't fully understand what you're paying for. You think, like, all those plants and, like, the gardens at the gate and everything, you think that's free? You think that just, like, comes with it and, like, no one's paying their salary and, like, the big, you know, fire when you come in the community? And you think that that's just free? Come on, man. Like, you know, this is absurd. This is absolutely absurd. And you know, you've got to be educated. I wish I could sue him for being uneducated. There's a lot of things I'm suing him for in this, but it's not being uneducated, but he should be, in his position with his type of following, to not be educated about all this. It's preposterous, really. It's, you gotta be flipping my flapjacks.
Serve any actual purpose besides just costing me money for ridiculous reasons for things that I believe they just come up with on the spot. For example, they fined me $75 for leaving my garbage cans out over a weekend that I was out of town. They also told me that the front-facing solar lights that I bought in front of the house were the wrong color temperature and were too blue when instead they should have been a lighter shade of yellow. I kid you not.
And that was to save 4 cents at Home Depot. I went with them that day. I said, Graham, for sure these are the right light bulbs. Like, don't risk it. He's like, oh, it's 4 cent difference. 4 cents to cause yourself that big of a headache. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? And now he's got a lawsuit headache coming at him.
Said I wasn't able to start up the Ford GT or drive it around the community after 10:30 p.m. because the exhaust wasn't up to code, even though it's a stock exhaust. And the worst of it was when they told me to stop playing music in my own backyard after 12 p.m. midnight when I was entertaining a guest from the podcast because it was disturbing to...
It was not just like he makes it sound like it was just like some soft music. I happened to be in the community that night, okay? Visiting another person I know that lives there. It was like that Cardi B WAP music and blasting it. I mean, you could hear it from probably the Strip. It was, communities have limits. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't push it like that.
Neighbors, even though I don't have any neighbor on either side of me and I have no idea who...
Yep, that's another reason I'm suing him. You can't be doing this, man.
Ever complained. And really the hardest part, I think, from all of it was just keeping away from the nightlife. Like here in Los Angeles, everything is shut down, so there's no temptation to go and stay out late or do anything like that. But in Las Vegas, that is literally the only thing you could do. So for entertainment, anytime someone...
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, does he like to be a party animal? Absolutely. And you just gotta learn to control that when you live in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, the Strip's there. It's like, party life 24/7 if you want to go to that lifestyle. But that's for you to control that. That's no one else's fault. That's not the city's fault. You've got to control that yourself, really,
visit, I feel obligated to go with them to the Las Vegas Strip and try to win some money. Now, at first, I was actually doing really well, and that kind of made me want to stay. But after a few weeks, I just kept losing, and it seems like every time going to the casino was worse than buying into tech stocks at their peak in February. But that's really where the problem begins, because there's nothing else to do there. My choice is to either go and work more, but there's only so many hours in a day that I could work. Or I could go outside and freeze, so that's not an option, or I could try to go and win some money, but lately I've been losing. Listen, I've seen the comments saying that I look tired, that I need some sleep, that I should go and get some rest. And the reason I have not responded to those was because I know I've been embarrassed. What do you want me to say? I agree. I just feel like I've let you down in the process because my content has not been up to what it normally is. It's also really difficult because when we do go out to dinner, we only have a few friends that we see, and Jeremy is one of them, and Jeremy just keeps wanting to go to expensive restaurants that I agree to go to really just out of politeness.
There are more expensive restaurants out there than the ones we go to.
But then we end up splitting the bill, and it's just...
See, this is defamation. This is why this is just another one of the components. He's revealing personal, very intimate personal details about me, splitting the bill, going to, you can't do this. This is serious stuff. This is super serious. I'm going to sue him for everything he's got, every last penny, everything, the Ford GT at all.
Way more than what I ever wanted to spend, and here I am telling everyone to be frugal and save their money, and meanwhile I'm out there splitting like a $300, $400, $500 bill for a few pieces of fish.
It's not that big of a deal.
I just feel like a hypocrite. But once all of that really began to stack up, we just decided it was best to come and move back here to California. I realized my tax dollars are much better spent here instead of going to an HOA who's going to tell me that I can't drive my own car after 10:30 p.m. for a stock exhaust. And thankfully, what really solidified this decision to move back was when I received an offer to buy my house from Jeremy. I know I'm selling the house below what it's worth, and I know Jeremy is getting a really good deal on it, but at least I trust him, and I know he'll close on it. And
you can't... Graham was in real estate. He knows this. You can't, the deal hasn't finalized yet. You can't, announce somebody's buying a house from you without it being finalized yet and who that individual is. He comes from the real estate industry. I'm suing him for that, and I want another $100,000 off the house. He bought it for about, I think it was 1.5. I'm buying it from him for $900K. I want to knock off another $100K off that, get it down to $800, because you can't do that. You can't. The deal hasn't closed. This is illegal.
At least I can get some of my money back. Part of me thinks Jeremy purposely tried to get me to buy that house just knowing that I wasn't going to be happy there, and then he was going to make me an offer to buy it back at a lower price. I have no proof about that, but that is a suspicion.
By saying you have no proof of it does not get you out of this lawsuit. That is pure defamation. Like I said, there's a lot of components of this. This is deep.
Because of how quickly he made an offer to me when I was saying that I wanted to move back to California. I don't know if that was just weird timing between the two, but it did make me think, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't do that on purpose. On the bright side, though, I'm really happy about
the damage is already done.
Being back in California. I think you're going to see a brand new side of the channel that you haven't seen before. And there's something about it here that's just peaceful. And I don't know what it is.
This is where I turned off the video earlier. I didn't have time to watch it. I got right on the phone with my lawyer. And, so I don't know what the rest of the video does. But I got right on the phone with my lawyer and I said, we're coming after him. And we're coming after him big time.
I enjoy hearing police sirens and helicopters and ambulances drive down the street at all hours of the day and night. I just don't like the feeling of it being eerily quiet all the time. It's just, I'm not used to it. It just feels like home when I drive down the street and hit a pothole because the city has taken too long to take care of it and hasn't fixed it for years. Hold on 1 second. I forgot something. 1 sec.
Looking like Tom Cruise. Jumping around.
Hello?
I think he's in mission.
There it is. Sorry, guys, I had to do it. It's April Fool's, but if you believed any of it, or at least if you found it entertaining, just do me a favor and hit the like button. But no, I did not move back to California. Still here in Las Vegas. But how about this? To make it up to you, I'll be giving you a free stock.
Hello? Yeah. Hey, yeah. No, that's just an April Fool's joke. Yeah, the lawsuit. Yeah, what the lawyer sent over. Yeah, it's just April Fool's, man. Yeah, no, nothing. No. I knew your video was joking. Yeah. Yeah. No, just toss it, man. Yeah, I knew it was. Yeah, I knew it was April 1st today. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, no, man, we're good. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a joke, man. Yeah, April Fool's. Yeah. All right, yeah, can't wait to see you next time you're in Vegas, man. Yeah, okay, bye-bye. Yeah, guys, this was just, this was an April Fool's joke. Yeah, no, I didn't file a lawsuit against him or anything, no. Yeah, anyways, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Much love. Peace.